National Geographic says we have not 4, but 5 oceans now. Dolly is once again expanding her assets. And a new bride goes from the chapel to the operating table to give a kidney to her husband's ex-wife. These stories and many more on Headlines with Denny the Bull. Welcome to Headlines. I'm your host, Denny the Bull. I'm joined in the Office Now studio with someone whose voice is sexier than a large tub of hot, salty, buttery popcorn. It's Red Pill Jenn.
Oh, yeah. How's everybody doing?
You're moving up in the world. You got the first intro this week.
I know. What did I do to deserve that? Not complaining.
And also in studio, our good friend, fresh back from lovely Las Vegas, Mr. Adam Joseph.
Hi, guys. Missed y'all.
Adam, is there anything you'd like to share with us about this trip?
Yeah, I got engaged.
You got engaged to be married?
Sure did.
So what happened in Vegas didn't stay in Vegas?
No, it's all over Facebook.
It's Facebook official
It
now.
is.
It's done.
So who's the lucky lady?
Her name's Christy.
All right. And did you get down on your knee? Did you
I
do it?
did.
Were you romantic?
I did. She said yes, thankfully.
Well, that's great. And you know, Jen and I were talking about this.
Yeah.
And it's not as important as that, obviously. But
Sure.
Jen and I were just talking. Did you happen to go to any TV stations while you were out there and promote our show?
Ooh, no, I did not.
Maybe it was radio.
Right, it's got to be radio.
It was radio
more
we were
radio,
talking about. Did you go to a radio station?
No, I also did not.
Oh, my gosh.
You didn't?
No.
Okay. Jen, hand me the phone, please.
Can't work like this. Here we go.
Jen, hand me the phone!
Here it is. Here it is. Settle down. Settle down.
Thank you. Okay.
Sunday night show.
What's the number
I think it's
for
2.
security?
2. Yeah.
All right. Yes, security. Yeah, this is Denny the Bull. We're going to need to implement Foxtrot Alpha November today on Mr. Adam Joseph.
Very severe.
That's Foxtrot Alpha November. What do you mean you don't know what that means? All right. Hey, Adam, look, it's Ashley over
Where?
Yeah. We're firing Adam now, you dummies. Yes. And we're going to need that about 9:15 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Here, Jen, take that back. I have a feeling we're going to be needing it again later.
I'll take that. Thanks.
Well, anyway, Adam, it's good to have you back.
It's great to be back. Missed
For
y'all.
now.
Welcome back. Viva Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And as always, please like, share, and subscribe. With every like on this video, we'll add another rose to the Glexy wedding bouquet. Adam, you doing a big white wedding?
I don't think so.
Okay. Because, you know, a white wedding is usually reserved for when the bride is a virgin, not the groom.
Yeah.
Billy Idol will be so disappointed.
Very disappointed.
Now, it's time for this week's pop culture deep thinking question. And this one is dedicated to you, Adam.
Oh, really?
For your trip to Vegas, that's right. We want to ask, who are the top 5 all-time Las Vegas acts listed by box office clout, according to an article from Las Vegas Weekly. So we're not talking about Carrot Top here. We're talking about the ones that get some major bank, all right? Now, there's a top 5, and then there's the one who's, all right?
Okay.
Well, who do you think number 5 would be?
See, I'm always thinking 4.
Well,
But
how about-
top 5? I'm going to say number 5. I'm going to say is
Wayne Newton.
I was going to say he's somewhere in there.
Mr. Las Vegas started performing there in 1959 with his brother before becoming a headliner. Now, he filled in for Sammy Davis Jr. because apparently Sammy called in sick a lot at the Sands. So he appeared there regularly. Audiences loved him. He got his own gig, and the rest is history. A must-see staple of the Strip.
The Rat Pack, you know, the whole...
You're jumping ahead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the
Okay.
Sands aren't even there anymore, by the way. So
All right. Number 4, Siegfried
Fred
and Roy.
That's what I was going to go with.
Of course, the act ended when Roy was attacked by one of his tigers. That's what happens when you smack a tiger in the ass,
Yeah.
right?
R.I.P. to both of them.
But
They're both still alive.
No,
they
both, yeah.
thrilled audiences for 5,750 shows before that happened, over the course of 3 decades, and a lot of tiger food and a lot of tiger poop.
Yeah.
Now, I saw that show in 2001, and it was amazing. That was before that happened.
Yeah.
Obviously. All right. Who do you think number 3 is? That's
Chris
right.
Angel.
Canadian songbird Celine Dion.
A what?
You know she's up there.
She's had 3 residencies since 2003. That means she's had 3 shows at 3 hotels, and she has raked in some serious cash because the tickets are so pricey.
Oh, yeah.
So in terms of pure dough, Celine is high up there. Of course, she sings her big hits like My Heart Will Go On, That's the Way It Is,
Power
If
of
you-
Love is a good one.
Power of Love, If You Ask Me To, and of course her biggest smash, Meat and Potato Man.
Right. Yeah. That's a good song.
That's her duet with Alan Jackson. That's right.
Yeah.
Now, number 2 on the list is Elvis Presley. That's right. The
Obviously,
king of
yeah.
rock and roll had 837 consecutive sellout shows from 1969 to 1976. at the International Hotel, which was renamed the Hilton, of course, after Paris Hilton. Now, the king began baking in the hot Sin City sun only 4 years after starring in the film Viva Las Vegas. You've heard of that.
Oh, yeah.
He also ate so much bacon that he died on the toilet from a massive coronary at the age of 42.
Well,
Seriously.
Blame the bacon.
Well, this guy ate a lot. He ate a pound of bacon a day for breakfast, along with a stack of pancakes, a dozen eggs, a loaf of bread, a bag of hash browns, a can of corned beef hash, and a jug of milk.
I'm full.
Don't forget the peanut butter.
Yeah, I was
Well,
gonna
and
say,
for dessert, he washed it down with a pair of
like,
Pop-Tarts.
Like peanut butter and banana. I don't know. He had some kind of weird
He
fixation.
had some weird stuff. That's right. His cholesterol was 1,400.
So number one.
Number one.
I think I know who it is.
I think so.
As Adam referred to, the Rat Pack.
No,
that
she
was me.
referred to it.
I spoiled it.
You said the
I
Rat
spoiled
Pack.
I
it.
was going to say David Copperfield.
Oh,
was gonna be number
okay.
one.
What?
Yeah, well, he's so famous out there.
Frank freaking
But the Rat Pack,
Sinatra.
I'm appreciative. I grew up listening to them.
Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Joey Bishop, Peter Lawford. Now, they performed on and off together, sometimes all together if you were lucky, at the Sands Copa Room. It was not unusual for Dean Martin to drop in at a Sinatra concert, or for Sammy Davis to drop in for a Dean Martin concert.
Yeah.
Or for me to drop into a China buffet for 4 hours and eat 2 meals for one low price. God, if I had $1 for every time I hear, "You've been here 4 hours, you go now."
You stay too long. I don't think we're allowed to say that.
No.
All right. Adam,
Yes.
are you ready for the first major entertainer of Las Vegas? Before the Rat Pack, before Elvis or Wayne Newton or Celine or Cirque du Soleil or Carrot Top, are you ready for who started
I think
it
I
all?
know who it
Started it
was.
all.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Liberace.
Ah, man, I was going to go with Manilow.
Liberace was a headliner at the Riviera, commanding a record-breaking $50,000 a week salary in the late 50s.
I was going to say, I wonder what that converts to today.
I don't know, a lot.
A
With his
million.
custom handcrafted suits and capes dripping with jewels, the classically trained pianist, singer, and real lady killer
Oh, yeah.
was the premier attraction on the Strip when it first became the wondrous oasis in the desert.
There you go.
Liberace, the original star of Sin City. So there you go,
Nice,
Adam.
yes.
Just for you.
Thanks.
Some Las Vegas pop culture to
And I
welcome
love
you
it.
back.
Thank you.
Security on Wisdom.
Yeah, okay, absolutely.
Wait, what?
All right.
Nothing.
It's time for our very popular weekly Rushmore segment.
That's
Jen?
right. Okay, so we asked our viewers to pick the final four for the dog breeds of Mount Rushmore, and what we've got are the Golden Retriever, of course, Labrador Retriever, Pit Bull, and the French Bulldog.
Oh, interesting.
All right. I would have said Beagle. I had a
Husky.
Beagle when I was a young
I would've
kid.
said husky.
I like Beagles.
Yeah.
I would have put in.
Huskies? Yeah, I like Huskies.
I mean, you got my two, my Golden Retriever, my Pit Bull. I'm happy.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, well, this week, in honor of Adam's engagement in Vegas, we're going to ask you to put the 4 greatest Vegas headliners of all time on our Mount Rushmore.
That sounds good.
So
like it.
comment your comment in the comments, and you could be in the running to join the Demolition Derby that's being held on I-24 southbound every day in the right lane, which has more holes than Swan Lake Golf Course. All right, Jen, do we have any fan mail?
We surely do, and that fan mail is actually brought to us by the Axe Throwing Place, where you can check out the new kegerator and say hi to Henry, Sandra, and the whole crew, located across from the new Publix in Sango at 592 Fire Station Road. The Axe Throwing Place is the premier spot for local recreation. They are now accepting signups for their summer league. You can find them on Facebook or at theaxethrowingplace.com.
All right, very good.
All right, so moving on to fan mail, we've got Harold from Michigan. Ooh, it's for you, Adam.
What?
Yeah.
It's about me this week. It's
It
crazy.
is. I know. It's all about you this week. I'm getting
Yeah.
jealous.
I'm
that's
very jealous
why
of myself.
That's why I got the first intro. I see.
Headlines with Adam Joseph.
Yeah, just we can just go.
I'll be out in my trailer.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's shorter anyway.
Yeah.
So how did you keep it together sitting next to that French maid on Padula's show on Friday?
Yeah.
Thought about World War II?
Yeah, just so our audience understands the context. Last week on this very show, we were talking about the scientific fact that the Eiffel Tower gets taller during the summer. It undergoes what's called thermal expansion because all those pretty French girls are walking around in their dresses, I said. I also said that I undergo thermal expansion every time Padula brings Ashley Miner, who is a budding local Instagram star, on his show. Well, apparently Ashley heard this, and thus she appeared on Padula's show on Friday dressed as a French maid.
I'm sure she did it just for you. Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how exactly you did that, Adam. If that had happened to me, and it almost did, by the way, I was given an invite, and I couldn't make it. But I would be cross-eyed right now. I could not have survived. I'd been...
Yeah.
I don't know how you actually
You
when I
guys
look
are
at
pigs.
It's kind of wrong though, because the studio's still a mess, so she didn't really do much of the mating stuff.
when I look at the bravest accomplishments
sorry,
of
Ashley.
mankind, all right, and I'm talking about climbing mountains.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the dawn of aviation, exploring the ocean depths, going to war, the conquering of space, sitting next to Ashley dressed as a French maid after having just gotten engaged.
Yeah.
Right? A couple days before is one of the bravest things I've
Christy
ever seen.
set it up. It was a test.
She was. Yeah, she set it up, and I passed.
All right. Well, before we go to headlines, let's cut to a message from one of our sponsors. Hi, everybody. Denny the Bull here from the new show Headlines with Denny the Bull. Today, I'd like to talk about a new book I just read during a flight from Nashville to Vegas. It's by a local author, and it's called Matthew, Mark, Luke, and Bob, The Last Resort Escort Service. You can get the book on Amazon, on Goodreads, or Dorrance Publishing, or wherever books are sold online. If you're looking for a book with romance that's provocative and exciting, this is the perfect book. It's a quick read. It's like 50 Shades, only written from the male point of view. It's a story of 4 male escorts and their manager, and it's written as a series of journal entries, like diary entries. It tells all of their adventures with women who have hired them for companionship. I couldn't put the book down. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know if these stories are real, but they certainly read that way. There's no other book like it. Again, it's Matthew, Mark, Luke, and Bob, The Last Resort Escort Service. It's written by local author Eldon Parker. Go to Amazon.com and order your copy today. That's Matthew, Mark, Luke, and Bob. Thank you. All right, it's time for headlines. News you can use with Red Pill. Jen, bring it on, Jen.
Here we go. Perhaps the biggest story this week is about the new stimulus checks that will begin coming out July 15th. Parents of children up to 5 years old will receive $300 a month, which is $3,600 a year per child. Parents of kids aged 6 to 17 will get $250 a month, which equates to $3,000 a year per child.
In related news, I just adopted 10 kids under the age of 5.
Okay, Mr. Jolie Pitt. The payments will be issued via direct deposit or paper check beginning July 15th and on the 15th of every month for the remainder of the year.
And Adam, in related news, even more people are not going back to work.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you're a business owner wishing you could hire some employees in July, Joe Biden just made it even harder for you to do that. We're giving away more free money, and don't worry, it won't have any effect on inflation at all. My groceries went from $190 a week to $230 a week. Today it was $250. It used to cost me $55 to fill my gas tank. Now it costs $85 to fill my gas tank. So, this is why Lawyer Wayne was so happy when we saw him last week, because he's going to get like $2,200 a month.
Yeah, with those 9 kids.
In free money.
I'm sure 9 kids are, I'm sure that $300.
Are they all under 17? His 9 kids?
They are, yeah.
Oh, for the love of
Just
God.
barely.
That's $25,000 a year for a lawyer. Oh, brother.
Yeah, well.
I mean, he's already making bank as a lawyer already.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Well, in royal celebrity news, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are settling into life as a family of 4 with the birth of daughter Lilibet. Lily is named after Queen Elizabeth's childhood nickname.
It's also the name Prince Philip called the Queen after a hard night of drinking. While realizing that he's married to a queen without being a king. He's like, hey, Lilibet, why don't you call me a king and we surround the castle, all right? Would I kill you, Queen Lilibet, you old buzzard?
Well, maybe that's why rumor has it that the Queen was not thrilled by the moniker, although mainstream press says it shows the strong bond between Harry and his grandmother.
Yeah, it's such a strong bond. They were just calling her a racist like 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, Oprah. It's all Oprah.
They were actually going to name the boy after Prince Charles. Of course, that's Harry's dad, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They were going to name the boy after Prince Charles's childhood nickname of Dumbo because of his big ears.
Oh,
but thankfully, they had a girl.
Yeah.
So, Adam, what was your childhood nickname?
my family called me AJ for my first and middle name, so
Okay.
they just called me AJ.
All right.
So,
Mine was Jimmy.
Yeah.
What about you, Jen? You have a
The
childhood-
ones that I can say on the air?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Nene, because I went by Jenny as a child, and I couldn't say Jenny, so I said,
All right.
yeah. So.
Well, as with little Archie before her, Lily will be raised in California, not England.
yeah.
And as with Archie, she will not have her ass cleaned by either of her parents. Nor will one diaper be changed by either of these people ever. I will bet cash money that neither Meghan nor Harry will ever be changing any crappy diapers, will not be feeding these little munchkins. I'm betting that all the dirty work will be performed by staff, like nannies and all that. You know, if my wife and I had a $25 million endowment from Princess Diana and staff to do all the diaper changing and feeding, I'd have 10 kids like Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
No, I'd have kids like Jim Bob Duggar. Right? I'd create my whole army.
Hopefully not just like.
Yeah, not
Jim
just like,
Bob
yeah.
Duggar.
I have an issue with exploitation of kids, too. So the fact that they're talking about broadcasting this whole experience on TV, too, because I saw an ad the other day that they're going to be talking or even following them around about it, too.
Yeah,
It's
that's
kind
not
of,
good.
I just don't like it.
Nobody wants to see your bratty kids.
Yeah.
They already do that anyway in Hollywood. So in royal and non-royal celebrity news, Beverly Hills 90210 star Shannen Doherty shared a raw, natural selfie on Instagram with a message about aging and embracing the experience of her life. Doherty, who's 50 years old, also praised women who haven't gotten fillers, Botox, or other procedures, writing that, quote, watching movies tonight and noticed there were few female characters I could relate to.
She couldn't relate to the fact that these actresses were actually working.
That's probably exactly what it is.
Employed in shows not filmed in 1990.
You got it. Well, Doherty continued that she loves, quote, women who embrace their face and all the experience it showed, end quote.
How much experience does Tommy Lee Jones have in his face?
It's
a lot.
Him and Steven Tyler are one.
Yeah. Do you think an actress could get away with having a Tommy Lee Jones face?
I don't know.
Sometimes it's good work. You know, Halle Berry's nose, J-Lo's nose, that was good work,
Look
right?
at Cher and Demi Moore.
Cher.
You know?
Jennifer Grey, though?
I was going to bring her up, too.
That was terrible. She ruined her looks.
She looks completely
And you know, she
different.
lost roles. She even admitted in an article with People that she actually lost roles because she got rid of her
We
signature.
loved her as Baby.
That's right.
Nobody puts Baby in a corner.
No, and nobody.
But apparently
feels
they
Baby
put
full of
her old
plastic.
nose in the corner is what they did.
And Dolly Parton, I don't know. I think she looked her absolute best in the mid-'90s, like Cher did in the late '80s. I think they got to a point where they should just stop.
I think
they
agree.
get hooked on that stuff.
I think they do. I think
they
it
get
is
hooked on
addictive.
improvement.
But speaking of Dolly Parton, nearby amusement park Dollywood is planning a $500 million expansion and renovation, which will begin this year and tentatively end in 2023.
Dolly Parton has spent her whole life expanding and renovating herself, and now she's going to focus on expanding the theme park. Hey, you know, I love Dolly.
Yeah, we all do.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Dolly's team is building a five-story Heart Song Lodge, which will stand next door to the current Dreammore Resort.
They should call it the Paymore Resort.
Yeah.
Yes, they should.
Because somebody's got to foot the bill for $1 billion or $500 million, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I've never been to Dollywood, but I have been to Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg one time during the Christmas season, and it was like World War Z.
Yeah.
It took like 2 hours to drive 5 miles from the Pigeon River to downtown Gatlinburg. It was insane. It's beautiful, but it was so jam-packed. I waited literally 20 minutes in line to buy hot dogs on the street.
You got to go at certain times. You got to hit it right in May, but right before season starts. You know, that's the best time to go.
It was so crowded. I had to wait 10 minutes just to give a hobo $1 bill.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry. Is the word hobo taboo
I
now?
guess so.
I
we
think
went
so.
there.
Is that
No,
inappropriate?
you're fine. But we went there for
Probably is.
Thanksgiving, and it was fun. I mean, it was nice out. But yeah, no, we passed Dollywood, and we're like, how much more room do you have with these mountains back here that you can expand your theme park and resort? You got all that mountain area back there.
Adam, you were out in Vegas. Oh,
Yeah.
there's a lot of mountain area around Dolly Parton. You were out in Vegas.
And islands and streams.
You saw a lot of hobos out there, didn't you?
I saw a lot of street peddlers.
all
Yeah,
right.
a lot of them.
Street peddlers.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, however, that we did see the Christmas program at the Dolly Parton Stampede.
That's fun.
It's a dinner theater and a
Yes.
show. It's phenomenal. I will say, you got a lot of food. Even I was satisfied with the portions. So you know that's a lot of food.
That's saying something.
And the show was amazing. It was well worth the cost.
I agree. It's a good deal.
All right, you know what, Jen?
Yeah. What's up?
I don't really like the tenor of that segment. I don't like where some of my comments about Dolly Parton went.
Yeah,
So remember how I handed you that phone?
You need it back?
I think I'm going to need it back.
There you go.
All right, thank you. All right. All right. Now, this call to the Writer's Room is brought to you by Moth to a Flame Candles. If you're looking for the perfect gift, go to Moth to a Flame, check out their selection of candles, or tell them the aromas you're looking for. They will custom make an incredible candle. I bought one for my mistress. She loved it. Again, visit Moth to a Flame Candle on Facebook. That's the last time I'm going to laugh at one of these jokes.
All right.
All right?
I know.
All right, let's dial writing staff.
Preposterous.
Timmy and Jimmy.
Jimmy and Timmy.
Yeah.
Get it right.
Writer's Room, please. Yes, I'll hold. Yes, writing staff. Yeah, Yeah, on page 5, you made fun of Dolly Parton. Do you realize what you've done? Not only have you obliterated any chance of us getting advertising dollars from Dollywood, but you also attacked a Tennessee icon. You don't go after Sergeant York. You don't go after Davy Crockett. You don't go after Dolly Parton. You understand? Thank you. All right, now you take it.
Okay, thank you.
Damn
Finally,
Yankees.
thank you.
Now
right.
you can have it back. I've had it with them, really.
Yeah.
Well, an 86-year-old sugar mill worker with 31 years on the job was arrested after fatally shooting his boss after he was refused another year at the mill. The Palm Beach Sheriff's Office said that Felix Cabrera was jailed without bail on a first-degree murder charge following the shooting in Belle Glade.
Meanwhile, here in Tennessee, we can't find a good couple of 20-year-olds to work at Jimmy John's on Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
We have to close businesses for lack of workers. And old Felix here wanted to work so bad he killed his boss.
I know.
You know, good job, Bernie Sanders. Way to give away free money.
Doesn't seem like good job security. I don't know.
No. Now, in the boss's defense, I can only imagine that Felix might not have been the greatest employee he had. Maybe lost a little on his fastball. Probably not the most productive guy at 86, but you still got to give the old guy credit for his tenacity.
31 years on the job.
Yeah. So this guy started working there at 55 after 7 years in the Navy and 30 years at some other factory. Then he worked 31 years here.
Yeah.
Okay. So now he's probably going to be charged for another 30 years in prison for murder. So when he gets out, he'll be 116 years old.
Yeah.
Which means he'll be just the right age to be the Democratic Speaker of the House.
There you go. It's
Perfect.
Or the
There's-
Democrat nominee for president.
Yeah,
Because they
that's-
love their old geezers.
Yeah.
And they're all 80 years old, right, Jen?
That's right.
I know, but those people, I mean, they still need the work, no matter what the age is. I mean, my parents are in their 60s; they're still working. Like, they should be retired, but you know, people their age that just still want to work at that age, at 80. Let them work.
Let them do it. I think we need a feel-good story.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think?
I think we need some feel-good music. But I don't know if we're at that level of production
I don't
yet.
think we're there yet. Well, I got the headline though.
Okay.
We can start there. So a Fort Lauderdale woman this week donated her kidney to her new husband's ex-wife. That's right. Debbie Neal Strickland of Florida married Jim Mirth and became close with his grown children, whom he raised with his ex-wife, Mylene Mirth. The children were happy for the bride and groom, but at the same time were concerned because their mother's kidneys were functioning at only 8%. Debbie found that her kidney was a match for Mylene, and I'm sorry if I'm killing that name, but so she donated her kidney to her hubby's ex-wife. The kidney transplant took place only 2 days after the wedding.
Wow.
Sadly, though, after the procedure was over, Mylene said she made the whole thing up and just wanted to get back at her ex-husband for all those missed alimony payments. Okay, I'll admit that was a pretty awesome thing to do.
That was
Yeah.
very, very
That's a
cool.
pretty awesome
I'm not
story.
sure I'd be that gracious, especially during my honeymoon.
She's a much nicer person than I am.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give up my seat to an old lady on a bus, much less give up a kidney. You know? That's not true, actually.
You'd give Adam your kidney.
Yeah, you would.
Actually, I'm full disclosure here. I haven't told anybody this story.
Oh.
So I'm going to tell just you and our viewers.
Okay.
I had this friend named Joe whose testicles were only functioning at 8%.
Oh,
So I donated
You can't even do it with
you
a straight
can't
face.
do it. Yeah.
I donated my left nut to him so he
Oh
could go
my
out and
God.
continue to sow his oats. Although all that oat sowing is why his nuts were only functioning at 8% in the first place. It's like the Freon in your air conditioning. If you use it too much, it dries out. And of course, I've been married so long, I really didn't need mine. So I donated it.
There you go.
Now, Adam, wasn't that a movie with Daniel Day-Lewis, My Left Nut?
Yeah, I think it was.
No,
yeah.
it's My Left Foot.
My left foot. Yeah.
That's right.
Something like that.
My Left Nut sounds like one of those 90s porno movies that always had like they borrowed titles from real movies like My Bare Lady and
Yeah.
Riding Miss Daisy. Remember
Like-
those? Too young?
Like you, like you,
goodness.
I think
like
Jen's too
you,
young.
sack
to
man.
Are you too
Is that
young
the
to
name?
remember the porno room? They had like the saloon doors and the little camera up.
I'm not too young. I'm just too pure and innocent.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
This is some crazy talk on this show today.
Well, guys, National Geographic made history recently by adding a fifth name to the Earth's oceans in its new and updated world map. The organization called the body of water surrounding Antarctica, wait for it, the Southern Ocean.
That's a pretty creative name.
Yeah.
Was this the same person who named the Southern Ocean? Was that the same person who named the president's oval-shaped office by any chance?
Maybe.
They need to get those people who do nail polish colors.
Mm-hmm.
But this comes as a big change to all of us raised with only an Atlantic, Pacific, Arctic, and Indian Ocean, the only names on the National Geographic map for over 100 years.
Indian Ocean, you mean Native American Ocean?
Hey,
Oh, no, wait, that is around India.
I just read it.
That is around India.
I just read it, guys.
You know, I think some of our bodies of water need renamed.
I think so.
For sure. They're out of date. I mean, some of these are pretty stuck up. I'm talking to you, Lake Superior. But there's the Persian Gulf. There's no Persia anymore.
No.
Well, what about Lake Ontario?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, isn't Lake... No, it's
in
not
Michigan.
But it's just south. But isn't the Providence of Ontario just north of it, and that's why they call it Lake Ontario? Well, then they should
put the lake in freaking...
What are you looking at me for? I'm not from Canada.
You know what the scariest lake is? Lake Erie.
Oh, boy.
I see what
that
you did
was a scary lake.
You know, the Red Sea's not red. The Black Sea's not black, but I like that Erie joke. I'm going to take credit for that.
Please do.
So somebody got paid for this, you know. Somebody actually woke up in the morning one day, took a shower, ate, dressed, drove to the office, and said, today's the name. I'm going to come up with a new name for one of our oceans.
Yeah.
Now, who gets this kind of job? Here I am working 4 jobs, right? I'm shoveling crap. I'm flipping burgers. I'm mowing lawns and telling lame jokes just so I can make a payment on a car sitting in my buddy's driveway with 4 flat tires and a dead battery, Jen. Trying to keep 2 ex-wives off my back.
And if that ain't country, I'll kiss you.
Just so I can afford enough ramen noodles and hot dogs to feed my family every week while keeping the landlord off my ass. And this person at National Geographic makes 6 figures, and their greatest contribution to society is naming some sub-zero iceberg-infested water the Southern Ocean. Well,
It's a Titanic mistake, I tell you.
I'll be damned.
Yep. Well, a commercial lobster diver says he was swallowed whole by a whale off the Massachusetts coast on Friday, but made it out alive with only minor injuries following the life and death encounter. Michael Packard, 56, of Wellfleet, was released hours later from a Cape Cod hospital following his scary run-in with a humpback whale. He told TV reporters he was 45 feet deep in the waters off Provincetown when the attack occurred. He initially thought the whale was a shark, but realized he was wrong when he didn't feel any teeth or pain.
He thought it was a shark until he realized it was all in his imagination.
Well, Packard continued by saying, quote, I felt this huge shove, and the next thing I knew, it was completely black.
It sounds like my first bi-curious party. You know, I was minding my own business. I felt this huge shove, and the next thing I knew, it was completely black.
Well, speaking of spitting out, Packard says he thinks he was in the whale's mouth for about 30 seconds until he was spit out. Packard's shipmate pulled him out of the water, but had no comment on the story.
Wow.
He had no comment because he didn't feel like lying.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, he had no comment because he's not a bullshitter like Captain Mike Packard. Either that or he's an illegal immigrant and he didn't want to get busted.
That day.
Or he's an escaped ex-con. I ain't going back to that joint, you hear me? Not for your stupid whale story. You know, Jen, I don't say this often, but I believe with all my heart and all my soul that this story is completely fabricated.
You know, of all the things that never happened, this never happened the most.
Yeah, right.
I think this guy's just promoting the sequel to Moby Dick. So he's just saying, let's just say I got swallowed by a whale, like Moby Dick.
Up, Jonah?
What's up, Jonah? What up? But I cannot believe this, that he didn't know he was not in a shark. He's like, yeah, this water creature is way bigger than a shark. I'm pretty sure it's not.
I call BS.
Completely call BS. And, you know, it's like going back to the movies. I'll have what he's having.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Vice President Kamala Harris on Monday issued a tough warning to potential migrants, telling them, quote, do not come. Don't come, end quote.
Well, she told Willie Brown the same thing. It's a long story. It's a long story. If you haven't heard it, all right.
Yeah, well, Harris was giving an address in Guatemala as part of her Latin American tour of countries with traditionally large amounts of migrants to the U.S. Last month, 170,000 migrants crossed the U.S.-Mexico border, and Harris is putting out the word to potential travelers. She said, quote, the United States will continue to enforce our laws and secure our border. If you come to our border, you will be turned back.
And as with Trump, the mainstream corporate media went crazy, calling Harris a racist, a xenophobe, a bigot, an isolationist. Right, wrong. They covered for her as always. If Trump had said this, he would have been lambasted. But since Harris is the first half Indian, half Jamaican vice president ever, the daughter of immigrants, right, she gets a total pass. Now, this is in stark contrast to the Kamala of 2017, who wrote, say it loud, say it clear, everyone is welcome here, when Trump was building his wall.
Really?
Yeah. She said that then. But then she got power handed to her with zero qualifications other than her 6-inch stiletto heels and her tan skin and a warm, hearty laugh that makes me really miss the caring authenticity of Hillary Clinton. I'm not kidding. I'd rather have Hillary.
By the 6-inch heels. I mean, that's
always.
That's a feat.
Always. Oh, brother. And rumor has it, by the way, that the Univision reporter, I don't know if you saw the press conference where she said this. There was a Univision reporter who told Kamala Harris that she loved her and apparently told her she voted for her during the press conference in Guatemala. Right? Well, apparently Univision said they're not sure who that reporter was, but that she doesn't work for them. Which means it was a plant by somebody in the Biden-Harris administration. So Biden-Harris is building the wall. They've already deported more Hispanics this year, and we're only in June, than Trump did all of last year. Now they're shutting down the border, plus all the other lies about the public option, $15 an hour minimum wage, lowering the corporate tax cut, the $2,000 checks that became $1,400. So did you hear that Biden just told Republicans he's not going to undo the Trump tax cuts now? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
No.
The list goes on and on. It's all lies. But I was a bad person for not voting for Joe Biden. But you know, you're just making me look like a genius for not voting for these people. You're making me look like a genius.
And that is also
and that's hard to do. That is hard to do.
This is the same Biden-Harris administration that when they debated during the Democratic debates, that when asked, would you allow immigrants here and pay for their college, everybody, including those two, raised their hand. Now they're pretty much contradicting themselves, saying, "Don't come.
Walk it back. Walk it back.
Walk it back."
Well, in other world news, NBC reported that 10 people were killed in a quote-unquote heinous attack on a landmine clearing charity in Afghanistan. The Afghan Interior Ministry blamed the Taliban for the attack, although the Taliban denied any involvement.
So right on cue, NBC News, the biggest pro-war propaganda network in the hemisphere, who have breathlessly supported every war, every regime change, every intervention in American history, NBC News says that we're 3 months from exiting Afghanistan. So we need a story to keep us there another 20 years. I'm sorry, Jen. Maybe I'm just being cynical this week.
Maybe.
But I believe this like the Russian bounty story.
Yeah.
I believe this like WMDs. Remember, Trump said we were leaving Afghanistan on May 1st.
Yeah.
Biden said, well, that's too soon. It's going to be September 11th.
What's more logical, this or the whale?
I would say the whale at this point.
Oh.
And Denny the Bull, by the way, right here in Middle Tennessee, graduate of Austin Peay State University, right? No genius, right above Forrest Gump on the IQ list, all right? But I said on this program that I guarantee that something is going to happen between then, when Biden said September 11th, we're out of here. I said on this program that something's going to happen between now and then to stop that from happening.
That you did.
Because the military-industrial complex will never be defeated. So first, it was the contractors. Biden was pulling troops but leaving 1,800 contractors / mercenaries. I said, nope, those troops aren't going nowhere because the mainstream establishment, bought and paid for press, will manufacture a reason to keep us there forever. And here it is. Landmines. Anybody remember when I said, who isn't against landmines? Yeah. Remember when I said on this very show, with my low IQ, with my degree from Austin Peay State University, remember when I said everybody hates landmines? I said on this show.
Yeah.
Watch the tape. I said, let's all agree landmines are bad.
Yeah.
NBC News reports that these people were just disabling landmines. And someone attacked them. And, of course, that someone has to be the Taliban, which is ruling Afghanistan.
And come on, they take credit for everything they do. They're not scared to take credit.
So I'm just going to remind you again, our audience, we armed the Taliban. They were the Mujahideen. We gave them American weapons in the late 80s to fight off the Soviets when the Soviets were in the region. We armed them to the teeth. And you don't need a history book. Let's say, Denny, I don't want to go back and read my history. Man is about this very subject. We armed the Mujahideen. They became the Taliban. They turned on us. And we've been occupying their country for 20 years. So Trump says we're leaving. Biden says we're leaving. Mainstream media says that's dangerous. And all the generals on all the news shows, you know how all the generals who were like advisors on the boards of Raytheon and Halliburton, they say Biden is insane. Liz Cheney says Biden can't pull our troops because we'll have another 9/11 because she's so stupid. She forgets it was Al-Qaeda and a bunch of Saudis attacked us on 9/11, not the Taliban, you moron. So just go on YouTube after this show. I'm going to give our viewers some homework. I want you to type in President Dwight David Eisenhower, speech, military-industrial complex. This is a 5-star general, supreme commander of the Allied forces in World War II, and 2-term president of the United States. When he was leaving office in 1961, he warned us, America. He warned us about what he called the military-industrial complex. He said that America during World War II had transformed our country from civilian manufacturing to manufacturers of a war machine. And his fear, in his own words, Jen, watch the speech. Okay, it's terrifying. Is that in the 50s we built a war machine that needs constant feeding through nonstop conflict, like 20 years in Afghanistan. Watch the first Iron Man movie, the Robert Downey. What happens when he says he's stopping building weapons of war?
Yeah.
What happens? They try to kill him.
Yep.
Right? When he says, yeah, I'm done with war, I'm going to do it. So now why can I, Denny the Bull, just above Forrest Gump on the IQ list, why is it I can tell you all this? I'll tell you why, because I'm not bought and paid for by anybody. And I called it on this show, and damn it, I was right.
That you did. Well, you know what? Guess what time it is? It's Biden time.
I can hear the music.
I know, right? With
Hail to the chief. I can
big
hear it.
news in the fight against COVID.
All right.
Yeah.
Joe Biden, most popular president in American history. 10 million more votes than Barack Obama, just a reminder.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
Well, President Biden said this week that America and Great Britain are doing something truly wonderful. At the G7 summit in London this week, Biden and British Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced that the group of 7 nations are set to commit to sharing at least 1 billion coronavirus shots with the rest of the world.
And not a single one of them will go to Palestine.
Or in my arm. The United States will provide 500 million COVID-19 vaccine doses, and the United Kingdom will provide 100 million doses.
And Greenland will provide 0 doses.
That's right.
Why does Greenland get off the hook on it? Everything.
They're somewhere down near the Southern Ocean.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
Now-
More in Northern Ocean, but yeah.
I heard that the U.S. is going to provide 500 million COVID-19 vaccines.
Yeah.
And that for the people who don't want the vaccine, Mexico said they're going to provide 500 million doses of heroin.
Oh. Fantastic.
Yeah. And Israel is going to provide 500 rockets and deliver them to Gaza.
Oh.
All right. So I can imagine that shareholders in Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, and Moderna were very happy to hear this, Jen.
Yeah.
As were
sure.
executives of those big pharma giants. Because as you know,
The Gates.
they're being paid for. They're being paid for all these needles, every one of them.
Yep.
So us giving 500 million doses out to the world, I would imagine, would cost a couple $1 billion
Seems
at
that
least.
way.
So if I imagine if Joe Biden said the U.S. was going to donate 500 million cars to the rest of the world, General Motors would probably be pretty happy to hear
I'll
that.
take the car.
Yes.
Or 500 million iPhones. Apple would probably
Yeah.
be pretty happy.
I'll
to
take
hear that.
Android.
Yeah, same.
If it was Android, yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you heard. I hate to piss on this story, but did you hear that there was a headline just Friday night
Really?
that the FDA told Johnson & Johnson to throw out 60 million doses from a troubled plant in Baltimore. This is not a joke.
Wow.
Because they said the factory didn't uphold good manufacturing processes. Now, I don't know what the bad manufacturing processes were. All I know is that there was a family of 6 that got the shots, and apparently one of them got a syringe full of ketchup, one got mustard, one got relish, one got onions, one got a piece of napkin in their arm.
Lord.
So I guess it was
mercy.
lunchtime, and somebody at the Baltimore plant was, I don't know, eating hot dogs or something. Jen, remind me right after the show's over to go down to Timmy and Jimmy's room and throw them both out of a window.
Yeah, they're
All
they're
right.
done. They're going right out with Adam.
So anyway,
Oh,
when it
thanks.
comes to COVID, I can only imagine that this entire pandemic would have been different if the disease killed kids.
Yeah.
Like polio, right? I think because it targeted the older population, a lot of people just didn't care. If it had been 3 million kids dying, much different results, I think. Trump would have handled it better, and
Yeah.
he probably would still be president.
Yeah.
Probably so. Well, speaking of former President Trump, mainstream media is slowly changing and or retracting 2 stories about him. It was recently revealed that the story of him having a square full of protesters removed by military force so that he could take a photo op at a nearby church was incorrectly reported. And his claims that hydroxychloroquine, a malaria drug, could improve a COVID victim's chance of living. Well, apparently he was correct about that. Now the experimental test results are in, which vindicate the former president.
So CNN, MSNBC, the like, had to debunk. They debunked the Russian bounties crap, and Mueller debunked the Russian collusion, the Steele dossier. Then they had to acknowledge the lab leak of the virus is now becoming pretty much common knowledge
Yeah.
because Trump had said it early on. Now they're all admitting that Fauci is a lying bureaucrat. Now they're saying maybe Trump was right to close the border since 170,000 migrants crossed last month. Now it's this. Trump didn't have the square cleared for a photo op. And when he talked about hydroxychloroquine, it was actually legitimate. So what's the media's winning percentage at this point with dunking on Trump? I would say it's about 0.
I'm going back to the whale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, seriously.
We're getting to a point where we can safely say that everything the mainstream media says about someone or something is bullshit until proven right.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's so sad that they can't that they got the person they want in the office. They got the person they want out of the office. But yet here's mainstream media cannot get over themselves of bashing President Trump. They would never do that with Obama. They never, and when he got out, they still said, "Oh, he was a great president." You know, it's only someone that juked the system, changed the system that they still want to attack.
Yeah, well, we were just speaking about people being caught lying and Dr. Fauci. Those two are synonymous these days, right?
Yeah.
Well, Dr. Anthony Fauci has come under enormous scrutiny after emails written by him were released to the public via the Freedom of Information Act. In the emails, Fauci makes it clear that he knew about the COVID lab leak theory from the start of the pandemic and did everything he could to keep it quiet. He was also fully aware of the Wuhan lab's gain-of-function research in which it manipulated animal viruses to make them adaptable to humans.
And now Fauci is visiting all of his mainstream media buddies.
Yeah.
He's going on all the shows he's been on many times before. These people have been propping him up for 16 months, hoping, they've all got his back, basically. Now this is really, and that's it. So it's kind of like when a couple separates and the guy calls every guy he knows immediately just to make sure they hear the story from him first and they pick his side, even if he was wrong, like Fauci was wrong. But the fact is Fauci was funding an organization that in turn was funding the Wuhan lab to do gain-of-function research. Those are facts. Fauci knew what they were doing. He dismissed it because he didn't want it to get out, and now he's getting busted.
Yes, he is.
I like the idea of that. Them talking about it. It's like, oh, this drug can, intertwine with human DNA. I'm like, if it's just me or is anybody else thinking I can be an anamorph? Like I can be an anamorph? Like that's just crazy that all that's going on. And it's been there. Like we're not blind.
Right.
We saw the funding. We saw everything that was going on in the Wuhan lab.
The truth comes out eventually.
Yeah.
Yes, it always does. You guys ready for a happy local story?
Yeah.
Sure.
I love happy local stories.
I know you do.
Yes, they're the best, okay? Well, Dr. Frank Willard, dentist to generations of Clarksvillians, celebrated his 104th birthday on Friday. Willard is a World War II, let me say that again. Willard is a World War II veteran, served 9 years in the military before going to dental school. He was a dentist on Madison Street for 34 years. Clarksville Mayor Joe Pitts attended the birthday celebration and revealed that Willard was his childhood dentist from the age of 6 to the time that Pitts was 18 years old.
And even at 18 years old, Joe Pitts said, someday I'm going to raise everybody's taxes in this town. He just knew it. It was his life's mission. Just knew someday he was going to become mayor and jack up those taxes.
All right, little Jimmy, whatever you say.
So Dr. Willard was born in 1917.
That's wild. My great-grandmother was born in 1910. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah. So little history here.
Yeah.
Woodrow Wilson was president. When he graduated high school, FDR was president.
Yeah.
When he became a dentist, Ronald Reagan was an actor, not a politician.
No.
Now, when he retired from dentistry, Donald Trump was a Democrat, and Joe Biden was giving eulogies for ex-Klansmen. Yeah. And Clarksville didn't have its own television station then either.
No, and you know what?
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy because we still...
So that's the kind of history that Dr. Frank Willard has seen since 1917. He has lived things we only read about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this man is still alive, and he was 22 years old when Gone with the Wind was released to theaters. He saw that at 22 years old.
Can you imagine the stories? I would just love to sit and talk to him and just pick his brain and just hear all the cool stories about the stuff he's seen and gone through. And
So he was 56 when Kennedy was assassinated.
wow.
All right. He was 62 when Woodstock happened. Okay. He was 66 when Walt Disney World in Orlando opened.
Wow.
Yeah, he
That's
was already
insane, 'cause I can't
retirement
even,
age.
Like,
Yeah.
remember a world. I mean, I grew up in Orlando. I can't remember a life without Walt Disney.
He was already
World.
66
That's just
years
crazy.
old. He's still alive.
Yeah.
So that is unbelievable. That
Yes,
is
it is.
beyond impressive.
Very much.
This
so.
is a great story to wind down our show. And I've never done this before.
Happy birthday, Dr.
The
Frank
longevity.
Willard.
I just want to see like 75. Like, but this guy's 100. I'm like, dude, I wish I could see
Look,
100.
I'm 42. I'll be happy if I see 45. Okay, so
yeah.
happy birthday to you, Dr. Willard.
Dr. Willard.
You know what?
104.
In honor of Dr. Frank Willard,
Yeah.
I'm going to do something we've never done in this show
Oh, I
before.
can't
Uh-oh.
Happy birthday.
Not fire at him.
Happy birthday to Dr. Frank the Bull Willard.
No, he's got a. He's an
got-
honorary
he's
Bull
honorary
Crew
Bull
member.
I like it.
I love it.
He's 104 years old.
He's earned
Frankie
it.
the Bull.
Frankie.
Frankie the Bull.
That
There
actually
are
is
now-
a really awesome name.
I love it.
2 bulls in Clarksville. One
And
bullshitter.
I was
but
gonna say,
2
I know.
bulls.
I can't
beat
speak
you to
for
that
him.
joke, didn't I?
Yeah, you sure did.
Yeah.
Damn it.
All right.
See,
Writing staff.
And eventually we'll get our nicknames, but we're still part of the Bull.
You
Crew,
gotta
John.
earn it.
I'm
we
still,
gotta earn it. I
I'm still
guess.
Red Pill John. I've been Red Pill John.
All right. So we're going to wrap up tonight by saying we live in a society where the right believes that abortion is murder and guns are freedom, and the left believes that guns are murder and abortion is freedom. And I believe that those may be 2 issues we'll never agree on. So let's just agree on the other 98% of issues, shall we?
We should.
Let's agree that we still only have 4 oceans. I don't care what National
Yeah.
Geographic says.
And if we have a fifth, it's not called the Southern.
Southern Ocean.
Lame.
All right. Let's agree you got to destroy the emails. Fauci, take lessons from Hillary. All right? You got to destroy the emails.
Email Hillary.
Let's agree that if you think you were swallowed by a whale and your name's not Jonah, you were probably drinking way too much salt water.
Call
I'll
me
have what-
Ishmael.
I'll have what he's having.
Let's agree that more Dolly is always a good thing.
We love Dolly.
That's right.
Definitely gotta go to Dollywood.
And let's agree that Dr. Frank Willard, age 104, has some amazing stories to tell. So
sure.
let's agree on all these things, and we'll disagree on just a couple. So please, again, help us build the channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. And for Adam, for Red Pill Jen, until next time, this has been Headlines with Denny the Bull. We'll see you next week.